Om Shri Sai Ram. The other day I was playing Snake and Ladders with my daughter Bhakti. I'm sure all of you would have played Snakes and Ladders. If you have not, I won't even try to explain that. Please Google and find out yourselves. It's a very, very popular and amazing game. So I was playing Snakes and Ladders with my daughter Bhakti, and she throws the dice, and whenever you land on a square, it's a 100 squares game, and you land on any square that has a ladder, you climb and go up the ladder. You land on a square that has a mouth of a snake, you slide down the snake to some other point, and it's a fun game. It goes on, it keeps us occupied. Now, whenever Bhakti lands at the foot of a ladder, she gets so excited and so happy, and she says, "Dad, I'm going by!" And she climbs up, she's so happy. And seeing her that happy makes me happy. But then, whenever she comes at the mouth of a snake, oh my God, she pleads at my face. She pleads and says, "Can I just stay on? Should I actually have to slide down the snake? Can I just stay there and skip, please?" I say, no, that's the rule. You have to come down. Okay. Any snake is okay for her to that extent. But there's one snake that's placed usually at 98 or 99. And that usually brings you down all the way till 2 or 12 or something like that. That's the biggest snake in the board. And that is a very, very, very disappointing, discouraging, disheartening, frustrating snake. Because you have completed the entire board, escaped all the snakes, and somehow you're on the verge of victory and you're back to bottom of the board. When that happened, she said, "No, Dad, no, I don't want to play." She didn't want to play at all. Because I insist on the rules. But I don't do that, honestly. When I'm playing, whether I land at the bottom of the ladder, I'll go up, I'm smiling. Whether a snake bites me and I come down, I'm smiling. It doesn't matter, and I'm sure all of you will agree too that if you play, it won't matter. I'm sure when Bhakti becomes older, say 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, if we are playing the same game, she won't mind whether she is going up the ladder or coming down the snake. Because when Bhakti is small, when Bhakti is young, it's elating to climb a ladder, it's depressing to come down a snake. But when Bhakti grows, when Bhakti matures, it doesn't matter whether I'm climbing the ladder or coming down the snake. That's the game of snakes and ladders, that's the game of life as well. In the game of life also, when Bhakti is young, we play very passionately, we are elated when we climb up, we are depressed when a snake bites and we come down. But as Bhakti matures, as Bhakti grows, we become equanimous. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I'm climbing a ladder or coming down a snake, because you know what? After all, it's a game. And maybe, sometimes while playing that game, I tell my daughter, I tell Bhakti that, yeah, okay, no need to come down this snake, go ahead. Because I feel if it's so important, my heart melts. I love her. I want her to be happy. But then, I'll not allow her to do that for all the snakes, because she has to learn sometime, right? If I keep telling her to bypass the snakes, with me she will be happy. Tomorrow she's playing with someone else, she's bound to get disappointed and hurt. I want to teach her that don't worry, even if the snake eats you and every time you come down, don't worry, it's after all a game. And if this is what a worldly father feels for his daughter, this is what a worldly parent feels for the child, what should the divine parent feel for the child? Once or twice, yes, he will tell, okay, fine, this snake will not touch you. We see the Lord has done a miracle. My business was going through a loss. Swami said, don't worry, and that's it, nothing happened. I avoided that snake. But he may not do it every time. That is just once, because, just to show you. But it's not about always avoiding the snakes. Why are you playing the game? Don't play the game at all. The game is meant to have ladders. When the ladder came, you never said, right? Please let me bypass. Bhakti never tells me, "Dad, this time I don't want to climb the ladder. Let me just go." No! She doesn't even wait. She just takes it up. We too, we never ask God, "Swami, why did you make me so successful? Why did you make me achieve my highest, best academics?" But if I miss my train, I say, "Swami, what are you doing? Swami, I missed this train." That is how we are made. Because our bhakti never grows. Our bhakti remains a baby only. And I think life is about growing our bhakti to a level where it doesn't matter whether I am in the snake's mouth or on the ladder's edge. It's very, very difficult. Very difficult. In fact, in his discourse on the 23rd of May 2000, very, very beautiful discourse during the summer course that Swami delivered. In that, Swami gives an example where the great Pandavas, the Pandavas are legendary characters. They are the epitome of Sathya, Dharma, Shanti and Prema, and they are the best examples for faith. And Swami gives that example, which I feel is very, very relevant and apt for our situation today. A situation where we have been affected or lost people to disease and death. Swami says that on the 13th day of the Kurukshetra war, in fact the whole Mahabharata, apart from being a very, very inspiring piece of history, is also very metaphorical. Kurukshetra, that place is still there in India, up north. If you break it up, Kuru means action, Kshetra means field. So Kurukshetra also means field of action, which is our day-to-day life. So what happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra happens to us in our day-to-day life. That is why the Bhagavad Gita begins with Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Because Kurukshetra is a Dharma Kshetra. The field of action is the field of Dharma, which is the world. So as I said, apart from being a piece of history, it's a beautiful metaphor to life as well. So in that, on the 13th day of the battle, Abhimanyu is killed. Abhimanyu is the son of Arjuna, and he is killed in a very, very terrible manner on the battlefield. And that day, as Arjuna returns back home, he sees that there is nobody coming running out to welcome him. He says, Krishna, something is wrong. Why is my son Abhimanyu not coming to welcome me? And then he sees everybody is downcast. And then when he goes, he gets to know that his son is no more. And he's devastated. In fact, those who have read the Mahabharata will know the series or sequence of events that led to this. Because Drona wanted to capture Yudhishthira, the eldest among the Pandavas, and hold them to ransom, saying, if you want your elder brother, give up. They wanted to distract Arjuna away. I won't go into that story, but basically, a sequence of events that happened in a very, very masterful manner, because of which Abhimanyu had to die. And then Arjuna looks at Krishna and says, Krishna, you knew this, right? You knew every little bit of this. You know that I have no other reason to live other than my son Abhimanyu. And yet you let this happen, Krishna. You Vamsha Nashi, he says. Vamsha Nashi means the destroyer of the clan. Because Abhimanyu is the future for the Pandavas. Without him, what are they fighting the battle for? Is what Arjuna thinks. But that is delusion. That is what Krishna constantly reminds Arjuna. You think you are fighting the battle to win the war and win the kingdom? Are you fighting it to put Abhimanyu on the throne? No. You are fighting for Dharma. Remember that. For Dharma. And every time Arjuna forgot that he is fighting for Dharma, he cried and he suffered. So Swami says that this is how he shouts at Krishna. And in that same discourse, Swami beautifully narrates how before Abhimanyu sets out, there is a formation that only Arjuna can break. And Abhimanyu knows it because when he was a baby in the mother's womb, Arjuna is narrating this technique to his wife Subhadra, who, possibly like wives who have to tolerate their husbands talking of their day at work, Sometimes it happens, especially the housewives. The husband comes back and says, this happened, that happened, and this is that is happening, that is a strategy. Okay, man, I have to listen to you because I'm your wife. Like, that's how Subhadra is listening to her husband talk about the tactics of warfare and everything, and She just dozes off. But Arjuna doesn't even realize. But he goes on and on and on and on, on and on. And that is the way that suddenly he says, Arey, you're sleeping. And he goes away. And he also doesn't realize because every now and then he is listening to an And that is the unborn child in the womb, in Subhadra's womb. That is Abhimanyu. So Abhimanyu has heard half how to get into and break this formation. He has not heard how to get out of it. So Abhimanyu on that day when Arjuna is not present, he has been pulled away to fight somebody else. He tells, don't worry, I know how to break the formation, I will do it. At that time his mother comes and tells, don't Abhimanyu. I'm feeling something in my heart, don't do this. But why mother, why? I don't know why. But please don't do this. And Abhimanyu says, you don't behave like Arjuna's wife. I will want to behave like Arjuna's son. Okay. I can't be a coward like this. I'm a lion, don't worry. I will go and finish them off. And in that discourse, Swami says, he disobeyed his mother, met with his downfall, got killed. That's all it is. Simple thing. Arjuna doesn't know any of this. And now Arjuna turns and simply starts blasting Krishna. What you are? You are a Vamshanashi. You are a destroyer of my clan. No? Krishna could have just said, enough, I am done with this and walked off at that point in time. You know? Krishna is an emperor, he is a king, and I have decided to come and serve you as your charioteer. I am sitting there, I am receiving your orders, taking care of your horses, cleaning them up. After all that, you tell this to me. But Arjuna's Sarathi, Partha Sarathi, he is called. He is one of extreme love, just like our Sanatana Sarathi. Whatever happens, we keep telling him anything, no? He loves us so much. He will never let go of us. He will listen and be calm. So, Krishna is just calm at that moment. In that discourse, Swami then narrates another episode that happens many years later. So, Uttara is Abhimanyu's wife. And when Abhimanyu dies, in her womb, there is a child that's growing. And because of the Brahmastra released by Ashwatthama, the child dies in the womb only. And they don't know. But when the child is delivered, it's a stillborn. And that's it. There's a pall of gloom all around in the Pandava camp. This is after the war. Who is going to rule the kingdom? The Upa-Pandavas are all dead. Abhimanyu is dead. The grandchild, the only one possible heir to the throne, is a stillborn. A boy who is stillborn. That time Krishna enters and comes and says, wow, where I heard? I heard that Uttara has delivered. Let me have a look at the baby. Look at this child. The eyes of Abhimanyu. The nose of Abhimanyu. Wow, even his ears are like Abhimanyu. And Arjuna, who is listening to this, is now seething in anger. He is so upset. I mean, not only is Krishna not giving his condolence, he has the cheek to come and, what are you talking, Krishna? This is anger. So as Krishna tells his eyes are like Abhimanyu, he comes and tells, oh Krishna, his breath is also like Abhimanyu. He is dead, Krishna, he is dead. Stop this mockery. And Krishna says, where is he dead? Where is he dead? And the baby wails. The baby cries, lets out a loud wail, opens the eyes, and then smiles at Krishna. Instantly the mood changes in the entire camp. Everyone is thrilled, happy, jumping in joy. And Arjuna falls at Krishna's feet and says, oh Vamshodharaka, how do I express my gratitude to you? Once again Krishna is calm. And Swami says, the fellow who had called him Vamsha Nashaka, the destroyer of my clan, is now calling him as the upholder of my clan, Vamshodharaka. What is this? So as I said, even the great devotees of the Lord have struggled to grow in their bhakti, to grow in their faith where they're equanimous. And there Swami says, Yes anuvariki yes anura, no anuvariki no anura, yes sulu nolu notiki kani, sai ki sarva yes yes. This means, he says, Sai says yes for those who say yes. Sai says no to those who say no, because Sai always says SSS. SSS is also Shri Sathya Sai. So Swami keeps saying yes, yes, yes. So if you say that, Swami, you are amazing, yes. Swami, you destroyed my family, yes. Swami, you are the most loving one, yes. Swami, you are heartless, yes. Swami says nothing changes, I am the same. Tell me now, dear brothers and sisters, tell me, is Krishna the destroyer of the clan, or is Krishna the redeemer of the clan? The honest answer will be, it depends. Depends on what? Depends on whose perspective we are taking. That's it. Krishna is Krishna, the unaffected, eternal witness. Depending on the color of the glasses with which he is viewed, he becomes that. I am saying this because personally I have gone through difficult times, and as I said, I am sure, especially in this pandemic, so many people would have had so many difficult situations. Worst being losing someone, and various other things, having somebody very badly affected. And we wonder why. They are good people, right? Why did they suffer? Arjuna was good, right? Why did he lose his son? You don't know. Why do you land at the mouth of a snake when you play snakes and ladders? Why do you land at the foot of a ladder? It is just to teach that it's a game of life. We just have to play it, that's all. It's a game. Go beyond. Don't let your joys and sorrows depend on what happens on the board. Be bored about what happens on the board. It doesn't matter at all. That is what our destiny, that is what our destination in life should be.